Hello, welcome to the seventh model in the plantain farming course. And in this seventh model, we'll be talking about harvesting and post-harvest handling of plantain in the plantain farm. In this model, we'll be addressing the best practices for maximum quality and profitability. In the last six models, we've had to deal with production quality. From now, we'll be talking about harvest and the money making. The objective is at the end of this module, you would have understand how to know the right time to harvest. You would have learned the safe and effective harvesting technique, and you would have mastered the post-harvest handling practices to maintain an extended shelf life. And we can briefly talk about value addition through processing of plantain into different other products. So, when is the right time to harvest? There are few indicators to help you know the right time to harvest. One, the color of the skin, right? When you see the skin of the plantain turning yellow or light green, you're ready for harvest. Also, once you see the slight thing of yellow, especially for a green plantain, it's ready for harvest. Let's talk about size and shape. Fully mature plantain are plump and firm, well-rounded appearance and not too curved. For texture, it will feel firm to touch and it should be very difficult to squeeze. It's not banana. It should be difficult to squeeze. For leaves, you notice that the leaves begin to die off and turn yellow when the plantain is nearing maturity. Now, this is not sickness, it is nearing maturity. The bunch will begin to droop or tilt downward. So at first it's standing, and next is that thing that is coming down. It's telling you it's time to come down, it's time to come down. And then for your plantain variety, green plantain harvest before the fruit turn yellow or start to soften for starchy heavy uses. Then ripe one can be harvested for direct consumption or processing. A lot of people would say I harvest it when it just turns green. Don't wait for the yellow just in case marketing is an issue. Something I also have to highlight here is at the point when you are nearing harvest, please start doing your marketing. We'll talk about marketing in the next module. But start doing your marketing before you think about harvesting so that you have to spend less on storage. It's the hack. Timing. They are typically the green one is ideal if you are selling to people who want to do unripe plantain fufu. The yellow one is for people who want to do for frying, for baking, plantain chips guys. So you need to know the timing of your customers and the different varieties that they need to help you know your timing for harvest. Usually plantain take 9 to 12 months from planting to harvest. So there's a variety called Pera. Pera takes less time than the traditional French plantain, and rain and temperature is another thing that can affect how long it stays. So typically 9 to 12, but once there's enough rain, good. There's not enough rain, it could move to 10, 11, and down to the 12 months. Now to the harvesting techniques. Please use sharp tools like machetes to cut the plantain bunch so that you do not affect the fruit itself. Ensure that the tool itself is clean so dat you do not contaminate the bunch. You see, like in the image, see where they cut it from the up, not from the ending, so e can stand as a long bunch. Avoid damaging your plantain. Cut it at the bunch close to the plant without damaging the plant. If you notice, like we have in the image, there's a lot of bunch hand space for you to hold. It's not bring it close to the plantain. Always use glove when you are trying to do these things so that you can handle the punch and the fruit so that you don't bruise your plantain, because once you bruise your plantain, it reduces the market value. Another thing you need to know is that harvesting during cooler times of the day would help you and reduce the plantain wilting. When you are removing the bunch, right, handle them gently, gently. If you are harvesting manually, which is typically the case for most medium scale plantain farm, use a lifting tool to carry the bunch, especially if it is very large. Don't go and be carrying the one that you be carrying, you walk 2 steps you drop it, walk 2 steps drop it, all the plantain at the base will spoil. You want to avoid that. After harvest, avoid too much handling. Everybody is carrying it to touch it, everybody is throwing it somewhere. Once the skin is not smooth, e affect the market pricing. So ensure that there are limited people handling it from harvest to where it is being kept to move it to market. Den when you are cutting the stem, right, trim the stem of the bunch so that you can minimize weight loss during storage. If you bring it closer to the plantain, there are lot more loss. Then avoid direct sunlight. Avoid it, avoid it. It's sunlight that is to make your plantain ripe fast or even develop uneven coloration. That's why you now see one plantain, one part is yellow, some other part is green. Too much of sunlight. Use harvest containers, get crate, basket that allows for air to enter it, right, so that you don't stack your plantain too high and then the ones lower begin to bruise, have wound and cut, and they are not fresh for the market. Also, wash your plantain gently to remove dirt and debris. So maybe at the point of harvest, they kept it on the floor, soil is on them, clean it neatly. Then you sort it by size and color, especially if you are selling on a weighted scale. Remove anyone that is damaged, the one that has bruises, so that it will not affect the ones that are very healthy. When you are packaging, package in boxes with air holes, bags with air holes, so that it would breathe. The unripened one, put them in a dry place so that they can ripen over time. For the ripe ones, put them in a cooler temperature but do not refrigerate it, as cold can damage the fruit texture. Cold can damage the fruit texture. Then for the green ones, you want to have maybe a green room where that is dried enough, that is with air, and in those kind of places they can last up to 2 weeks without ripening. You put in refrigeration, right, if you want to extend the life of the green one unripe, you can put it in the fridge so that it can slow down the ripening process. But for the ripe one, dry it, freeze it, or you put it in cooling chamber where it's not exactly extremely cold, so that it can slow down the ripening and prolong the shelf life. Alternatively, you can start thinking about value addition and processing. So plantain chips, flour, puree or fufu, that's if you're not selling it in its fresh form. We have a course on the various value addition, so you want to check out our course on that on Agrodemy Academy. And the advantages to processing and packaging. So when you process and package, you decide your market price, you have better profit margin, you have different products that you can put out to different customers. With your fresh plantain, you can only sell to families. With plantain chips, you can begin to sell to children, to schools. So you have like new market range, new target market, and you can create jobs. With the farming, right? Once you have a good farm manager, you don't need so many people. But with processing, you will need people. So if you are very big on creating job, when you are done taking this farming course, go and take a processing course on plantain. So I'll give you a simple plan. I expect that at this point you design maybe what the processing method you want to use. That's if you're interested in processing, identify it. But more importantly, I would say just go take a course on processing and it will guide you all through. But I want you to decide what kind of packaging material do you need? What do you need to have on your farm for storage? Do you need to have a cooling van? How do you want to go about it? Do you want to have a sorting room on your farm? How do you want to go about it? Who do you want to sell to? Do you want to sell to people who want unripe, or do you want to target ripe plantain people? Who are your target audience? This is where I want you to work on your plan and consider the market closest to you. So in the comment section and in the community, I want you to talk about the best form of plantain, either ripe or unripe, that you think will move market around you and why. Let's hear you. In summary, your harvest timing is important, your harvesting technique is important, your post-harvest handling techniques also important. Then value addition just increases your productivity and allows you to create new product line. Thank you for coming to the end of this module, and let me know if you have any other question as regards post-harvest handling in the community, in the comment section on the course. See you in the next module.